Hello, y'all. We are finally back for a tailor-made sandwich. I know we have taken a couple weeks off, but it is really hard, although a lot of these men expect these women like me to be in the kitchen cooking things up like a sandwich. I have been traveling a lot for work over the last few weeks, so unfortunately I've had difficulty getting in the kitchen to make us a sandwich and cook up a little same game parlay for our Monday night football games. This week we actually have two options for Monday night football games, but I am specifically going to be looking at the Chargers at the Cardinals, and I've got to do this because I am an Arizona girl. I have lived in Arizona for 8 years, and we have got to stick with the theme, and I thought, why not a better time to show you guys an Arizona delicacy than to do it this week for Monday Night Football, because boy, do I have something exciting in store for you guys. We are going to be making an Arizona Sonoran Dog, and if you don't know what that is, boy, you are about to find out, and it is delicious. A lot of people don't consider a hot dog a sandwich, but for the sake of this, for the sake of me showing you guys something Arizona-esque that's also in the form of basically a sandwich, we're doing the Sonoran Dogs, baby. So we've got some hot dogs to get going. Like I said, we're building the same game parlay around the Chargers Cardinals game. So let's get to it. We've got a same game parlay sandwich to cook up along with the Sonoran Dog today on Tailor Made Sandwiches. Step one of our Sonoran Dog is that we've got to grill these dogs, baby. So we're actually gonna have to move out of the kitchen. We're gonna have to head outside to the grill. Taylor's gonna become a little grill master, if you would say. Well, I'm a complete dork, actually. I totally forgot. The main key ingredient and key part of making a Sonoran Dog is that you first gotta take your hot dogs that we've got here, which I did just open up, and we've got to wrap them in bacon. So that is step one. I've actually got some Kentucky bourbon bacon here because I am currently in Louisville, Kentucky. So I thought, why not? Why not get the flavors going of the location that we're in? While we begin wrapping our hot dogs that I've got here on my tray, let's go with leg one of our same game parlay in Chargers Cardinals. And that is going to be Chargers running back J.K. Dobbins, 60 plus rushing yards. To start, Dobbins has hit this over in 3 out of 5 games this season. The only 2 games he didn't were against Pittsburgh and Kansas City, who have 2 very, very good run defenses. This week, they're facing the Arizona Cardinals, who are terrible at stopping the run, actually 4th worst in the entire league. Something that we're seeing out of Coach Harbaugh right now, his first year with the Chargers, is he's loving a stout defense like he always does, and he is working that ground and pound game. J.K. Dobbins is leading this Chargers offense right now, and not only is he leading this offense, he's actually second in the AFC when it comes to rush yards. He's got 438 rush yards. Last week against the Broncos, he had a season-high 25 carries. The Chargers actually happen to be running run plays or going with run plays 52% of the time. That's 3rd highest in the NFL. Even though that's nearly 50-50 on run pass plays, it's still 3rd highest. So they do like to run the ball. And why would you not exploit that in a week when you've got a terrible Cardinals rush defense? J.K. Dobbins should be able to really get rolling. I don't mind him for an anytime touchdown either. For the sake of our parlay, I'm going 60 plus rushing yards for Chargers J.K. Dobbins. And trust me, y'all, if he doesn't get that, I will be dead on the ground. Now, let me show you a little bit of what I'm doing. It took me 2 pieces to wrap this, but we are just literally swirling around the pieces of bacon onto our dog here, perfectly like this. So that way when we grill it, we're gonna cook the hot dog and we're gonna cook the bacon. We're gonna make it nice and crispy. We're gonna take the dog like this and we are gonna slowly wrap it around the hot dog. This is a little messy, just for reference. It's pretty greasy. A little greasy, grimy. Ooh, this is some thick bacon though, thick bacon. Okay, now that we have our bacon wrapped dogs right here for the Sonoran Dogs, a little pro tip, which this wasn't my idea, it was Patrick's. We're gonna use the Q-tips. We're gonna use the toothpicks to hold our bacon in place in the dog. So like that. We're gonna go one right there. And then next, now that we've got the toothpicks in the dogs, it's time to head to the grill with the dogs. If you don't do this, are you really grilling? Okay, here we go. While I start to grill our Sonoran dogs, we are gonna put them on the grill. We are gonna chat a little about my travel excursions over the last couple of weeks. While we still talk about the same game parlay, of course. So let's put our dogs onto the grill. And I'm not really sure how long you should leave these on because I'm gonna be totally honest, I've like barely ever grilled anything in my life. Not really much of a griller. So we are just doing our best of putting our dogs on the grill. And I'm assuming they were gonna take a little bit longer than grilling, you know, just a plain hot dog because of the fact that there's the bacon on them. So let's get to the fact of why I haven't filmed a tailor-made sandwich in a couple of weeks. And that would be because I got to go on 2 really cool work trips for work. So the first one was for Aruba. And I went with this company called Chiron Interactive, where we basically worked on promoting a sports betting kiosk that uses virtual sports and you can bet on them similar to a slot machine. I got to go help promote the product, be also at the casino at the Hilton there to promote the poker tour that was going on, the Caribbean poker tour. But on top of it, I got an awesome trip out of it as well. The beaches in Aruba are literally some of the most beautiful that I've ever seen in my life. The sand is pure white and it is like carpet walking out there, and the water is so crystal clear you can see everything. We got to do so many cool things too. Patrick and I went ATVing, although we think that was probably our worst activity we did while we were there because it was really bumpy. I don't recommend. What else did we do while we were there? Obviously the beaches. We went to amazing dinners. Azzurro is, I believe, how you pronounce the one, was so good, like a traditional Italian restaurant. I felt like I was on the Amalfi Coast. And the other one, Madame Jeanette's, top three meal of my entire life. I am not kidding. It was sensational. Chef's kiss, amazing. Everything we got was unreal. Being at the beach, though, I must say, is like the highlight of Aruba. Being there on those beaches and getting to spend time in the water was A+. I couldn't ask for any better. Now that our Sonoran dogs are grilled to perfection with the wrapped bacon, as you guys can see, the next step is we gotta leave these sit. They're ready to go. And we have got to drain and cook some pinto beans. So, time to drain and cook. Now, truly, you could cook the beans in like on the stove and heat them up, but nowadays it's so simple with beans. You can just microwave these ones actually according to the back of the can. So that's what I'm gonna do for the sake of time. Got these in there. We're just gonna put them in the microwave for about 2 minutes to get them all cooked up. While our beans are over there cooking in the microwave, let's get to leg 2 of the same game parlay. Remember leg 1, J.K. Dobbins, 60+ rushing yards. Leg 2 is gonna be Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert, 200+ passing yards. Now, off rip, if you're not a football fan that's like super into the Chargers or you're not like an NFL freak, you're like 200+ passing yards. I mean, that sounds fairly easy for Justin Herbert, but actually this season, he's only gone over 180 passing yards once this year, and that was actually last week against the Broncos. Now, why is this? Partially because what I explained with Harbaugh being a very ground and pound game type of coach, and with the fact that they've been such a stout defense. That's really been the Chargers' biggest focus. Justin Herbert finally is recovering from that high ankle sprain that we think held him back a lot last season. And something that we are seeing, like I said, he only went over this once, but this week, he could easily go over this number because the Cardinals' pass defense is about just as bad as their rush defense. They're allowing opposing quarterbacks to average 220+ passing yards a game right now, which makes the Cardinals 22nd in the league when it comes to their pass defense, which is bottom 10 in the NFL. Go Cards. Despite the fact Justin Herbert hasn't been passing the ball as much this season, I do think against an Arizona Cardinals defense that is really, really struggling, this could be an easy time for Herbert to really show off and get some stuff going through the air. So leg 2 of our same game parlay sandwich that we are cooking up right now is going to be Justin Herbert, 200+ passing yards. I know it sounds easy, but I promise that might be the leg that I'm, I guess, most worried about. All right, y'all, the beans are cooked. It's time to start going to the next step of creating our Sonoran Dog and putting it all together. Okay, next step is to cut up some of our toppings that are gonna go on top of the Sonoran Dog. So we've got some fresh cilantro here. We're gonna put a little bit of that. That'll be our final topping. A lime, already cut this baby in half. You need to have white onion. White onion is an important piece of the Sonoran Dog toppings. Oh my gosh, I kind of gotta sneeze right now. Phew. Oh. Excuse me. So let's chop up this while we get into the third leg of the same game parlay sandwich for the Chargers Cardinals. Now we've got our buns right here ready to go. We've got all of our supplies of our toppings that are gonna be going on, along with a lot of other things. I gotta go grab those out of the fridge. But while we get to this, let's get to leg 3 of our same game parlay before I start putting all the toppings onto the Sonoran Dog. It's going to be the Chargers money line over the Cardinals, leg 3. So leg 3, Chargers money line. Let's just start with the basics. The Chargers have won 5 out of the last 6 matchups between the Chargers and the Cardinals. Not only that, they're 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 on the road games. Look even further, Harbaugh on Monday night has never lost a game in the NFL. Granted, most of that comes from when he was coaching for the 49ers, but still, primetime on Monday night, Harbaugh shows up, and that means the Chargers are going to show up as well. Well, I tell you guys about why we're still taking the money line. We need to also, we've got our buns here. The first thing you do with the Sonoran Dog is you have to put mayo, which I'm not even a big mayo person at all, because I don't know how to get this baby open. And the reason that you do this is because it helps all of the ingredients stick together on these buns. So we're gonna mayo these babies up, which is kind of gross, to me it is at least. And we'll spread it so it's even on the buns. And then spread it. Now we are going to take our Sonoran Dogs. I'm taking out the toothpicks right now. And we are going to put these babies on our buns. Heavily throughout this entire video, I've talked about how bad the Cardinals defense is, but we haven't talked about the fact that the Cardinals offense is supposed to be extremely explosive with the addition of rookie wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. The problem is though with this, lately they have not been explosive. MHJ is going to be back for this game in Monday night against the Chargers, which is big, but the problem is with all of this is we've got to see more use of Kyler Murray using his arms and his legs, which we haven't been seeing as of late. Right now, Kyler Murray has thrown for 1 or less touchdowns in 11 out of his last 14 games, which shows me that the offense is not doing what the offense is supposed to do here for the Cardinals. The Chargers, on the other hand, while their offense may not be a top 10 unit in the NFL, that defense has been, and they've been using that defense to their advantage to then hold opponents to less than 12 points a game right now. Now we've got our Sonoran Dogs, which, guys, look at how good those look. These bacon wrapped Sonoran Dogs. I did a good job with these on the grill. These are wrapped. The next thing we need to put on, now we are going to put on some of our pinto beans. I'm not the biggest bean person. Well, actually, I do kind of love beans, but I don't know if I'm the biggest bean person on the hot dog thing, but we're doing the job because the pinto beans are a staple for the Sonoran Dog. So we're not gonna go too crazy with these. We are gonna get them on there. Next up after that, we are going to be taking our onion and putting it onto our dog. I'm doing onion. Patrick doesn't like onion, so he's not taking any onion on his dog, but I am doing some onion on mine. So we've got onion on the Sonoran Dog. Let's like stick these. Let's sit these up a little bit more. There we go. That's better. So we're putting the onion on the Sonoran Dog. After that, we're gonna take some of our Pico de Gallo. You can either use Pico de Gallo or you can use chopped up tomatoes. I personally prefer Pico, over chopped tomatoes because I don't really love tomatoes very much. To add on top. And like I said, a lot of the ingredients in terms of the Sonoran Dog are mix and match. Some people are more into the tomato. Some people are into the pico. I'm a pico girl. I try not to get a lot of juice either just because you don't want the bun and everything in it to, like, on the dog to become mushy. So now we do some pico on our Sonoran Dog. Add that on. I kind of put a lot on because I do love Pico de Gallo so much. Guys, I went to yesterday, while I'm making these, I'm gonna tell you guys. Yesterday I went to my first Louisville game and they played Miami, and I have not been to a college football game in honestly probably like 2 years. It was so stinking fun. The environments at college football games, I honestly think rival those of NFL games just because like the students are so much more vested than I feel like NFL fans are, and people just get so much more into it. And although the Cardinals lost, it was still so fun. Like I want to go back. We got to go to another game now. It was very fun. Loved the college football environment, and we tailgated for a little bit, and I haven't done that in quite some time either. So that was a blast, and if you're ever in Louisville, you should definitely go to a Cardinals game. I recommend, highly. After we do the Pico de Gallo, if you want, this is an if you want. I like lime. Some people don't like lime. Patrick, do you like lime?
No, I don't have those.
Okay, I'm doing lime. You can put a little bit of lime juice on this, and if you want, some people even put the lime slices on the dog. I do not put the slices on. And now, okay, this. Now, one of my favorite parts of a Sonoran Dog, I think you pronounce it Cojita? I don't know. Cojita Cheese. So we're gonna take some of this and we are gonna crumble it on top of the Sonoran Dog. Guys, these look epic. These look so stinking good. We're gonna crumble that baby on. Crumble. Mmm. Delicioso. So good. I felt like Dora the Explorer when I just said that. Oh my God, this cheese is delicious. Really good. All right, last but not least, we have to add our jalapeños, our jalapos. Is that what some people say? They make fun of it. Jalapeños. We're gonna do a little bit of jalapeños. You're supposed to technically get candied jalapeños. I could not find those anywhere, so we've got regular. I don't like a lot of spice, so I'm only putting a couple of pieces on this. But, oh my God, these look divine. Now let's go over our same game parlay sandwich while we finish up our Sonoran Dog. Same game parlay sandwich for the Chargers Cardinals game is going to be leg 1, J.K. Dobbins, 60+ rushing yards. Leg 2, Justin Herbert, 200+ passing yards. And leg 3, to finish it off, is going to be the Chargers money line against the Cardinals. If you want to get fancy with it and make it even bigger, that comes out to plus 305 on DraftKings. Remember, all odds are subject to change, and I use DraftKings because that is who I work with. You guys, I suggest use DraftKings as well. Use my code MATHIS when you sign up. But with that being said, if you want to make the parlay even a little more fun, a little more spicy, add in another leg, I do like Kyler Murray over 5.5 rushing attempts. He's hit this over 2 weeks in a row, and the Chargers actually allow for quarterbacks to scramble at one of the highest rates in the NFL. On top of that, Nick Bosa is ruled out for Monday Night Football, which makes me think Kyler Murray will use his legs more, and I think their head coach, Jonathan Gannon, is trying to get Kyler Murray to run the ball more. If you want to add in a little more fun to that same game parlay, that's what you can add in if you want to make it a little more juicy. Now, to top it all off, our last thing, we are just gonna put the lightest bit of mayo. On top of this, a little, I just am doing little tiny bits. And we finish it off with some cilantro on the top. So then you just throw on your little bits of cilantro. and you've got yourself a Sonoran Dog. These are authentic to Arizona, especially to the southern part of Arizona, and the Tucson area actually is where these originated. People in Arizona love these babies. You can get them at any sporting event, and I've had a bunch of Sonoran Dogs in my life, and I must say I absolutely love them. Y'all, we gotta zoom in so you guys can see just a close-up of how yummy these babies look. Oh my goodness. Okay guys, this is the first time I've ever made my own Sonoran Dog and ate it, so here we go. Let's dig in and try it. Oh my God. This thing is fantastic. Holy cow, it's fantastic. It is really freaking good. This is easily my favorite thing that I've made on tailor-made sandwiches by far. No doubt in my mind. Like, and guys, this is like a sandwich. Look at how much crap is on this entire thing. So while I finish eating this Sonoran Dog, let's review our same game parlay sandwich for the Chargers-Cardinals game tomorrow. Leg 1, J.K. Dobbins, 60 plus rushing yards. Leg 2, Justin Herbert, 200 plus passing. Leg 3, Chargers money line, comes out to plus 305 on DraftKings. If you want to add in the juicy leg, like I said, Kyler Murray, over 5.5 rushing attempts. Make it more fun, make it a little crazy, but remember, then you gotta hit 4 legs instead of 3. With that, guys, thanks for tuning in to Tailor-Made Sandwiches, week 7 of the NFL. Remember, we are going through that Chargers-Cardinals Monday Night Football game. And guys, I hope you make yourself a Sonoran Dog, because I promise you, you will not regret it.